This is Jordan Dennison, Memoir Speech. Have you ever had a relationship end, a friend lost, or worried your parents through a simple, poorly worded text message? I have. And the one that stuck the most is when I lost my job. Over this past summer, I worked for my friend's father's business, hardwood flooring and installation. We would install hardwood floorings in schools and houses across the state, sometimes out of state, and would often have to drive far to get to where we were working the next day. Though the problem with the business was simple. We wouldn't know where we worked or when we worked until the night before the day we worked. So if I was working Tuesday, I wouldn't know for sure until Monday night or Monday evening. This became a huge problem over some time. The first problem actually happened the day before I was scheduled for my first time working. I texted my boss 6 to 7 times throughout the day, starting from somewhere around mid-morning, say 10 o'clock, and stopped around 8 p.m. This actually upset my boss a lot, even though I didn't know it at the time, because I was bothering throughout the entire day. And it upset me because I wasn't sure when or where I was working the next day. After I stopped at 8 p.m., I assumed I wasn't working tomorrow for my first day, and went to bed. A little later, at around 11 p.m., after I was already in bed, I received a text that I worked at 6 a.m. in Dubuque the next morning, which is about a 2-hour drive from where I live, which made me very upset because that's a far drive in the first place, and the fact that I was getting it so late meant that I had less sleep, and then I had to wake up at 4 and leave at 4 in order to make it to the job site on time. This sort of instance happened many times, and I eventually learned that I shouldn't text first. I would just wait for my boss to text. This arrangement went fine for a long time. I would simply just wait until the evening to receive text. If I didn't receive text, I assumed that I wouldn't work, and I wouldn't come to work the next day. There were a couple times when he would forget or he wanted me to ask him first, but for the majority it worked fine. For a good month or two, actually. And then I received no text for 2 weeks. The first week, I didn't think there was anything wrong. It was getting towards the slow season, so I didn't have a problem with it. After about halfway through the second week, I began texting him every day for about 3 to 5 days, and after receiving no text messages in reply, I text messaged his son, who was my friend, asking if I still worked there and was employed, and still received no answer. So then I assumed that I no longer worked there, and I was unemployed. Through this experience, I've learned a lot. One, there's a fine line between texting your boss too much, or communicating with your boss too much, and too little. And the same goes for your boss if you're a boss to your employees. Also, you should never rely on technology solely for your only means of communication in a business relationship. You should rely on some face-to-face, and if you are relying completely on technology, let it be more over the phone or FaceTime or Skype or something like that, not fully on text messaging or emailing, because it's really easy to misunderstand through that. Once again, I would like to thank you for listening to my story and hopefully taking home some of my own well-learned lessons. Just because of some simple miscommunication, I lost a great paying job. Hopefully, the same won't happen for you.